What's up, everyone? Welcome to Hack ADHD and Dyslexia. My name is Nishant. If you're new to this channel is all about hacking our ADHD and dyslexia to unlock our innate superpowers. All right. So today's video is about how to write an essay or a first draft of an essay in under 30 minutes. I'm going to give you a 3-step process. And each step is going to be taking advantage of your dyslexic strengths. This video is really good for dyslexics, but people with ADHD can really, get a lot of value from it as well because, as you know, people with ADHD, we like to procrastinate, right? So with this technique, it makes it a lot easier to, get what you have to done. Get what you have to get done quickly, all right? The first draft is usually the hardest. Editing it and doing all this other stuff is pretty chill, especially for people that already kind of have good ideas like us. So it's easy to refine it. But the first draft is the toughest part. So that's what we're gonna be focusing on in this video. Before we get started with that, I'm just gonna do this really quickly in one. I'm not gonna do any cuts. I'm gonna just, originally I was gonna make this really crazy, like super produced video, but I don't think that actually serves you. That just takes a lot of my time. And I want to try to get as much content out there as possible. Sorry for wearing this monkey suit. I just got back from work, so that's the reason I'm wearing all this stuff. So here it is. It's a 3-step process, all right? The first step is to get a journal. This is one of the things that I always recommend. Almost all my videos is you need to have a journal, all right? So let's say you get an assignment, and your assignment is to write an essay about, I don't know, Civil War or something. The first thing you need to do is open your book up, title it, right? So on my book right here, I wrote how to write an essay in 30 minutes. Whatever your essay is, right? So you write the title, and then the next thing you do is you write down. You get a timer, click the timer, and you set it for 10 minutes, and you write down every single idea that you have on your topic, right? So if you're talking about the Civil War, I would write down every single idea about the Civil War that you have, right? So it could be like one word could be Benjamin Franklin. No, hold on. Abraham Lincoln. And the South, the North, Confederate, the Union, the economics, slavery, cotton gin, like any idea that comes into your mind that could be related to your topic, you write it down. Okay, you do that for about like 5 to 10 minutes. And then the next thing you do is you go back to this essay. All right, you go back to your notebook, and then you draw lines. You connect the dots between each idea. So Abraham Lincoln, Union, and the North, right? Those all connected. So you draw a line. You connect those dots. You connect those ideas together in a way that kind of makes sense, right? In your head. You don't have to put anything on paper yet. And this is really the beautiful thing about this way of doing it is, as dyslexics, we have issues with, writing things down, spelling things correctly, getting the grammar down. All these other things that does not matter in the idea phase of writing an essay, right? So what you want to do in this beginning part is get all the good ideas that you have into your scratch paper, into your brainstorm, into the thing that you are going to be designing your essay on, right? Now, this is really a powerful thing a lot of dyslexics can do really easily, especially if they have, strong interconnected reasoning skills. I'll put a link to the video that I made about interconnected reasoning up here. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out right here. So that's one of our strengths. We can connect ideas together. So first put those ideas on a paper, just write the words, draw a picture, whatever you need to do, all right? So the next thing you want to do is you want to take those ideas, link them together in using arrows. After you have this all sketched out, take a minute. Go do another activity for like 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe a day. Go do something else that's not related to this idea. Let all those ideas marinate and coalesce inside your brain cells, all right? After you take a break from, the brainstorm, the piece of paper that you put all your ideas down in, then come back to it. An hour, next day, 20 minutes from now, however long. The longer it is, the better. Don't go over like 2 days though, all right? So after 2 days, you forget stuff. But in between, like, an hour to like 48 hours, it's like your prime time of your brain, like really marinating on these ideas and really connecting these ideas and coalescing them in a cool way, all right? So that's first step. Step number 2 is you want to open up your notes. If you have OneNote, open it up in OneNote and hit the record button. I want you to process these ideas in words. All right, so you took ideas that are not really put into like sentences. The next step is to take those words that are on your brainstorming paper and speak about them to yourself, and then record what you're saying. You could even just take your phone, hit the record button, and just go over everything that you said. So like, hey, you know what? Benjamin Franklin was the president of the North, and he was the president of the Union and the Confederate, blah blah blah. Just talk to yourself about these ideas, and then as you're talking, all these ideas that you kind of thought about for the last 2 days will start coming together in a way that's like it's kind of magical. It just kind of happens. Now, most people, they process while writing, right? So they'll write something, and then something will happen to where all those things that they're writing, all those ideas will kind of connect together. But for me and for most of you guys who are dyslexics, I think your way of doing it will be like verbal processing. So as you're talking, as I'm talking to this video, all the ideas that I want to say next just come to me, right? So the same thing will happen to you when you're writing your essay. So sit down, start, talking to yourself, talking to the camera, talking to OneNote or your microphone, whatever you need to talk to, and then make sure you're recording some of this stuff. And here's a little secret. You don't even need to listen to the recording. It kind of gives your brain like a chance to say, hey, you know what, I don't remember everything I say because a computer is doing it for me, right? So that's the next thing. Just hit the button, record, even though you don't have to actually go back and listen to this recording. Because what will happen is your brain will kind of be like, oh cool, I don't have to remember everything I say, so I'll have like more energy to process everything, right? The same way that if you're doing this while you're writing, your brain is spending a lot of time thinking about everything that it needs to get right? And the things that you suck at, like spelling, grammar, putting certain words together that make sense, all these different things that your brain usually would have to do, now it doesn't have to do that anymore. And it doesn't have to remember anything that you say either. So your brain's gonna be like, cool, I'm just gonna say what I need to say to get this done, right? So that's a huge advantage. All right, so now the first step, we wrote everything down, we made a brainstorm. Second step, we kind of like connected the dots, we took a break, and then we came back and we started talking to our phone while we were, with a pencil, we went over some of the ideas on the paper, right? And we added some things in verbally, and we took other things out that were not important, right? So that's step number 2. The last step is this is like something that just recently came out about 2 years ago, and it really helps people with ADHD and dyslexia out. And this is called Google Docs. All right, so if you go to Google Docs, it's like a free writing tool. Just go to Google Google Docs, all right, and you'll see it. And maybe I'll put a little doohickey. I'll do a screencast or whatever on this side so you can actually see what's going on, all right? So Google Docs is like this writing, it's like Microsoft Word, and you can just type stuff. It's a word processing application. Now, the cool thing about Google Docs is it has a tool called Google Speech to Text. And all you gotta do is you gotta turn it on and just read what you just said back into the computer. Now, you can combine, you might want to combine step 2 and step 3, but I don't recommend it because you want to keep these separate, right? The cool thing about doing these like 3 times, it gives you a chance to refine your ideas, multiple times. So when you actually, writing it into or speaking your words into Google Docs, it's not gonna all make sense, but just keep talking. Just keep talking into the thing. Take a break so the words can catch up with your speech. But then just keep going. If there's mistakes, just keep going, and until you're done with explaining everything just like you explained into your microphone, right? What's gonna be happening is the first part of this. It's gonna take you about 10 minutes. The second part, speaking into the camera, will probably take you about 10 to 15 minutes, and the last part of you actually speaking into the Google Docs will probably take you like 5, 10, 20 minutes, right? 5 to 10 minutes as well, and then by the end of it, you'll have like a really rough draft, like really rough, but a draft of the essay that you're gonna be talking about. The next steps, if you're gonna add more things in, is when you're editing it, go back, find the things that you like, find the things that are interesting, find the things that you need to, give evidence for, and all these things. Fill out that rough draft with, things that you would normally do, things that, a normal person would do at the beginning. You know what I mean? So like, go back, you have this rough draft, and then go back and, reword some of these things so they make sense to other people, add evidence, punctuate things, even get some help if you want. You can maybe even have someone else edit it for you, in the past after this, right? And then after you have it written out, just read it out loud, see if it makes sense, and then go ahead and refine it and do other things to it to make this essay perfect. All right, I hope that makes sense. I try to do a good job on this video, but I might have sucked, but I don't really care. I'm just gonna upload this to see what happens. By the way, if you guys like this kind of stuff, if you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. I will be making more videos for people with ADHD and dyslexia. Thanks a lot, love you guys, bye.